Hello, John Talley here with Partzilla.com. Today I'm going to show you how to change out the chain and sprocket on our 2015 Kawasaki KLX 110. In a previous video, we just adjusted it and cleaned it, but it's getting it's getting pretty close to where it needs to be replaced. So I want to go ahead and show you how to do that in case yours is completely worn out. So let me grab a couple of tools and I'll show you how to get it done. Alright guys, let's go over some of the tools you're going to need to get this done. On the plier side, you're going to need a circlip pliers, just a regular needle nose pliers, a 22mm, an 8mm, and a 14mm socket. On the box end wrench side, you need a couple of 10s and a 14. And on the screwdriver side, just a flat blade and a couple of different pick tools. And other than that, depending on how you want to cut your chain down to size, you'll either need to get a chain breaking tool or some type of side grinder. Alright guys, before we get started, let's talk about a couple of different types of chains that are available. You know, the factory OEM stuff, they just had a little, run-of-the-mill DID chain. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm actually going to upgrade a little bit and go with a Pro taper. It's going to last a little bit longer, wear a little bit longer. It won't stretch quite as much. As far as the sprockets, really up to you. I'm going with an aftermarket set from Sunfire. But there's nothing wrong with going with the OEM, so it's really your decision. First thing, let's get this cotter pin out of the way. Next, go ahead and back off the brake just a little bit. Give it some free play. Next, definitely going to want to go ahead and break off the pinch bolts right here, because believe me, they're going to get adjusted way out with the new chain going on. Same thing on the other side for the other adjuster. Before we loosen up the axle, let's go ahead and bring the chain around till we get to our Masterlink, and we'll go ahead and take it off. See this little section right here? That's an actual clip that goes over and holds the Masterlink together. And what you want to note is see the opening on the end. You want to make sure that that's facing in the opposite direction of the chain rotation. Reason being, if it's facing the other direction, if it were to catch something, that could cause it to come off, and you don't want that to happen. Put it gear, keep it from moving. Get it started, just with a flat blade. Then that way you can grab here and pull it on up and off. You can pry off carefully the outer plate on the Masterlink. Go ahead and push it out. And off she comes. Next, go ahead and pull out that other cotter pin, which holds the brake drum arm on right there. And that bolt just pushes through. Next, go ahead and take off your brake adjustment bolt. Now both those free. Let's go ahead and loosen up the axle bolt. So when I did that, that allowed the hub to rotate. And now you can take off the brake lever. And she'll just pull right out now. Alright. It's a good idea always, once you take it apart this far, make sure that your rubber inserts are in good shape, and they are. Before we start taking that sprocket off, what I want to do next is go and pull this front cover and that'll expose the front drive sprocket. These sprockets were okay, but you can tell that they were starting to go. See how these are getting really pronounced points? See how it's wider on this new one compared to the old one? They're kind of getting elongated out. That's why you wouldn't want to just replace the chain, because these basically, they wear together. So when the chain wears, go ahead and replace everything as a set. That way it'll mesh together as new. Put it in gear, keep it from moving. Take that off with a couple of circlip pliers, and then she'll just slide right off. Not too tough at all, huh? All right, let's get to that rear sprocket. Just a 14 millimeter. Now these bolts are going to drop out just like that. Just make sure when you're reinstalling them that that edge, that flat edge, goes to the outside, because that's what's going to hold it in place and keep it from rotating. All right, when you get those 4 bolts on the sprocket just hand tight, you want to go ahead and put it back into the hub itself, and then torque each one to 32 foot-pounds. Now we can put our brake shoes back in on its hub. We'll roll it back in place. Make sure you've got your spacers on either side, and just put your axle back through. All right, now that you've got the axle through there and you've reattached your brake arm and that arm to keep the hub from rotating, you want to go ahead and torque your axle nut to 47 foot-pounds. Next, we just need to count out our links so we can get the chain cut. So this is where we want to cut her. All right, now I know that they make chain braking tools, but I've always found that using a cutoff wheel is more fun, so that's the way I'm going to do it. All I'm going to do is just grind down the points on this particular link, and that way the end plate will be able to be knocked off. Just on a side note, or maybe not just a side note, but just make sure you've got safety glasses on, if not just regular glasses like I'm wearing. You wouldn't want any of that stuff flying back in your eyeball, I promise you. Not that I've ever had that happen before. With those ends ground off, you just take a regular screwdriver, put it right in here. See where I'm going? And she'll knock right off. Resisting the temptation just to grab that link because it would be warm. All right, let me get this table out of the way and we can put it back on the bike. All right, let's get her fed back through. All right, let's get our Masterlink back in there. Got our outer plate on. Now we just need to get the little clip that's going to hold it all together. And remember, you want this going in the driven direction. So goes up in like that. And you can just use a flat blade, pop her in. So we've got our Masterlink in place. Let's go ahead and get this front cover back on. And make sure that you still have that that metal bracket that all these different bolts go through. It's a little tricky getting it all to stay together. All right, get those tightened back down. Well, all right, guys, that pretty much wraps this one up. The only thing left to do now is just adjust the chain. And if you would, reference one of our videos and I'll show you exactly how to get that done. Listen, if you need any of the parts that we use to put this together, come see us at partzilla.com and we can get you taken care of. If you have any questions or comments, just leave them in the section below and I'll do my best to answer them. Until next time, we just want to say thanks for watching.